Hey guys, SuperHorrorBro Mike here, and welcome to part 1 of a mini-series looking at the 4 lords found within Resident Evil Village and the monsters associated with them. The aim of this series is to look at our encounters with these various lords throughout the game, the environments they inhabit, and their respective backstories. We kick things off with Castle Dimitrescu and its set of bloodthirsty vampire-esque terrors. So sit back, relax, and pour yourself a glass of the red stuff. It's time to see what lies behind door number 1. Standing at an intimidating 9 feet tall, Alcina Dimitrescu is the lady of the castle, which she uses as a base of operations for her very particular brand of winemaking, human blood. She lives in this grand establishment with her 3 daughters, Bela, Cassandra and Daniela, alongside a host of creepy experiments, the Moroeica and Samka. We first encounter Lady Dimitrescu and the Twisted Sisters early in Ethan's adventure, as he enters the castle in search of his kidnapped daughter Rose.
Looking for Rose? Man blood. Mother, I bring you fresh prey.
You are so kind to me, daughters. Now, let's take a look at him. Well, Ethan Winters. You escaped my little brother's idiot games, did you? Let's see how special you are.
From notes found throughout the game, we discover that Lady Dimitrescu's first name is Alcina, and she was once a very normal person, originating from the noble Dimitrescu family bloodline. The Dimitrescus were one of the 4 families who had originally founded the mountainous village Ethan explores throughout his adventure. Sometime around 1958, at the age of 44, Alcina was lured into the crypt below the village graveyard by Mother Miranda, the town priestess, and subjected to obscene experimentation in her pursuit to find the perfect host to resurrect her long-lost daughter Eva. Miranda implanted Alcina with a parasite known as the Kadu. Once the Kadu is inside its host, it's able to take control of their body, fundamentally altering one's genetic makeup, which in Alcina's case heightened her growth. It also granted the lady regenerative abilities, retractable claws, and allowed her to transform into a dragon-like entity far beyond the makeup of a normal human body. We see these horrifying changes throughout our journey in Castle Dimitrescu. A prime example can be seen in this gruesome sequence where Ethan loses his hand to the lady's blades.
Shit! Like I'd let you get away. You'll be sliced to ribbons before you ever see me, child. You will learn what it means to insult our young best.
When we take a look at Alcina's medical report, we do note that she suffered from a hereditary blood disease. It seems the Kadu worked with this disease in interesting ways, which explains why Alcina's transformation was so radically different to most of the other test subjects. However, the Kadu not only gave Alcina great power, it also accelerated her porphyria blood disorder, resulting in a constant need to consume human flesh and blood. This led Lady Dimitrescu to devote a large portion of her time to the pursuit of perfecting a blood wine known as Maiden's Blood. Men are lured into the castle and strung up, where they are bled dry to sate Alcina's never-ending thirst.
Starting to go a little stale.
Then let's devour his man-flesh quickly, Mother.
While Alcina Dimitrescu was deemed unsuitable as a vessel for Eva, Mother Miranda did find a use for her. Miranda allowed the lady to preside over the Dimitrescu estate and maintain order in the village as one of its 4 lords. Over the years, Lady Dimitrescu grew an inflated sense of ego and self-importance. She believed herself second only to Mother Miranda and far beyond the other lords. We witness her rage when they are compared to her directly. She especially has a loathing for her fellow intellect, Karl Heisenberg.
Heisenberg, the man's fate is in your hands.
Mother Miranda, I must protest. Heisenberg is but a child, and his devotion to you is questionable. Give the mortal to me, and I will ensure he is ready.
Shut your damn hole! And don't be a sore loser! Go find her food somewhere else.
Quiet now, child. Adults are talking.
I'm the child. You're the one who's arguing with Miranda's decision.
You wouldn't know responsibility if it was welded
Oh,
to
keep
that
glory! One day your head might actually fit your ego!
Another result of the Kadu implantation was that it granted Alcina greater levels of intelligence. This allowed her to aid Mother Miranda with her experiments in the castle dungeon, where she used women exclusively, implanting them with Kadu in the search for a perfect Eva host. However, most of these experiments were failures, creating zombie-like monsters, some with the ability to fly. Let's take a closer look at these wretched monsters. Dressed in filthy rags as they stagger about the castle grounds, the Moroeica are the remnants of the women subjected to Alcina's cruel experiments. In fact, the name Moroeica originates from the Romanian word moroi, a term used for a creature which rises from the grave to consume the living. The suffix oeica indicating that these monsters are indeed female. The Moroeica often brandish weapons such as swords and axes. Their arms are long and bony with claws protruding from their fingers, their skin grey like a corpse and face shriveled with a mouthful of razor-sharp teeth. Ethan fights many hordes of these female monsters throughout the game, as they usually hunt in groups of 3 or more. Next up is the Samka, a winged variant of the Moroeica. They are found high up in the castle battlements and spires, often perched as they scout for their prey like buzzards. They resemble the look of gothic gargoyles, which we must assume is quite intentional. However, despite their ferocious appearance, these winged terrors are fairly easy to dispatch. Now, while the majority of these experiments turned their female victims into mindless drones, there were a few exceptions. These were found with 3 young women who, like Alcina, were implanted with the Kadu parasite under the supervision of Mother Miranda. The Kadu laid eggs inside these women, and once they hatched, these eggs produced fly-like organisms. These flies are carnivorous and swarm their prey, consuming their flesh. They are also susceptible to extreme drops in temperature. The Kadu flies bonded with the women they had hatched from, covering their bodies and mimicking their form. So while these 3 female victims no longer existed in physical form, consumed by the flies that had hatched from them, their bodies have been replicated by the insects, and hence they can now move around the castle as a swarm, assembling and disassembling at will while chasing their prey. Lady Dimitrescu took a fondness to these particular experiments and decided to adopt them as her own daughters. She named them Bela, Cassandra and Daniela. Ethan is hunted by these 3 daughters at every turn while exploring the castle. As their bodies are made up from bloodthirsty bugs, they also require a steady supply of human blood, and much like Alcina, they favour the blood of men.
I haven't cut open a man in a while. Let me string you up, slice your jugular, and just watch. Take an alive, dead, which would you prefer?
To defeat these sisters, Ethan must discover ways in which to allow cold air into the castle, for example by shooting out windows and blowing up walls. Once the flies are exposed to these freezing temperatures, they begin to dissipate, allowing for the human form within to be destroyed.
Bullets cannot harm.
You stupid man thing! I won't forgive you, you bastard! Not like this. Move your hands!
We've looked at the backstory of both Lady Dimitrescu, her daughters, and the monsters inhabiting the castle itself. So let's take a look at the downfall of Alcina and her final confrontation with Ethan in the story of Resident Evil Village. After escaping the castle, Ethan discovers a cathedral with a coffin at the far side. Inside this coffin resides a weapon known as the Dagger of Death's Flowers. The dagger originates from the Middle Ages and contains a mixture of poisons blended into its steel. Fearing it could be used against her, Alcina had hidden the dagger within her family crypt. With the dagger in his possession, Ethan sees his chance to take down the tall lady and plunges it into her side.
You've ruined everything!
In a last bid to destroy Ethan, Lady Dimitrescu transforms into her true monstrous form and carries the hapless hero to the top of the castle, where they are forced into one final conflict. Check out some highlights from this hair-raising battle.
Looks like your outside matches your inside. Son of a bitch.
You'll die a painful death! I will destroy you! You're a lucky man! Besides Miranda, you're the only one who ever seen this war. Too bad you'll pay for it with your life! Dare you talk about saving your daughter! I need your flesh! Time to die! I'll eat you up, every last morsel! Winters! Too late! You'll never see your rose again! Succumb to your despair! Curse you!
With Alcina finally defeated, she can rest in peace, or perhaps that should be pieces. The village is a little safer now, but Ethan's adventure is only just beginning, and there are plenty more monsters and lords to defeat on the road ahead. So do tune back in soon for part 2, where we'll venture inside the lair of creepy dollmaker Donna Beneviento and experience the history of her house of horrors. But that brings us to the end of today's video. I hope you found it both entertaining and informative, and if you did, remember to leave a like, comment down below, and of course subscribe for more horror related content. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video.